Welcome to the I Teach iTech how-to video series. This video will focus on free resources for writing. Here's what you'll learn today. Free resources that can help your child navigate the sometimes daunting task of writing. We'll explore interactive games, story writing sites, editing resources, and other writing help your child may need. We're going to start off with some student interactives. The first one comes from Read, Write, Think. Read, Write, Think provides student interactives that assist with organizing thoughts and ideas, learning about language, and developing good writing skills. There's 5 areas that activities fall into: organizing and summarizing, inquiry and analysis, writing poetry, writing and publishing prose, and learning about language. When you choose one of the 5 areas, we were to choose organizing and summary. If we go to See All, you're brought to interactives that are then broken down by grade level. Here you see to interactive grades K through 12, student interactive, organizing and summarizing, and this is an alphabet organizer. It tells us a brief description. Students can use this online tool to print an alphabet chart or pages for an alphabet book. The next site we're going to look at is Writing, Spelling, and Grammar Games. This site provides interactive activities as well as printables in the areas such as grammar, graphic organizers, writing forms, phonics, spelling, and other areas. You can go to click on spelling and phonics, and it gives you a spelling song. You go to graphic organizers, and it gives us some graphic organizers that students can use. Another interactive site is English Games. These are fun, free, interactive games and activities to help students learn English. There are reading, spelling, grammar, writing, and word games. And if you explore this site further, you'll notice on the top right, there's also science and math pages that you can go to. Under activities, you'll also find some ESL activities for kids. On this site, you'll be able to play games, complete activities, print worksheets, take quizzes, watch videos, as well as some other fun stuff. And if you just use the headers going across, you can find the various activities that are available. The next set of sites are final product sites or storytelling sites, or even some comic strip sites. So we're going to walk through those and give you an idea of what your child can do with their story once it's written, or what they can use to help get their story written. The first site we're going to look at is Prezi. Prezi is really the new PowerPoint. This is a free tool to create presentations. It allows students to create multimedia presentations that are engaging and dynamic. You can also explore Prezis that are created by other people. It does work on Windows or Mac platform, and there's even an iPad viewer that you can tweak the Prezi a little bit. These are great also if you're working with student collaboration. Students are working together. And you can see here like a Prezi. I'll give you a quick look at what a Prezi looks like. So you get the idea. Some Prezis also will play automatically instead of having to click each slide. Storybird is a great site for learning how to do storytelling. The premise behind Storybird is to reverse the process of visual storytelling by having students start with an image and then developing the story around that. Students can also read storybirds that other people wrote. So if we go into Create, you can choose a picture. Here's some of the artwork. You're going to start it with this particular artwork. They can be saved. You can also publish it. The next three sites are sites where students can make comic strips. Make Beliefs Comics is a comic strip generator, and sometimes this is a good format to help students jumpstart their writing. They're short and to the point. At Make Beliefs Comics, they have control over many features. They can decide how big they want their comic strip to be. They can bring things to the front and back. They can flip a face so that it can have the bubble facing the right way. For example, if I add this person and say I want him to be facing this way, if I clip, I can flip him, or I can flip him back depending on where I want to put his bubble or where I want to put the character that he's talking to. These can be printed or emailed. Bubbler is another comic strip site. This uses photos from Flickr, and then you can add bubbles to them. The strips are then published to a public site. So you can do a search for pictures. I'm going to search for dogs. Yeah. It's going to bring up a whole host of pictures, various ones about dogs. If I choose this one, dog's here. I can add a bubble. I can move my bubble. I could say, nope, I don't want that bubble. I want this bubble instead. And then they could type their text. Then it can be published. Next comic builder is by Lego. This capitalizes on the ever popular Legos and can sometimes be a good motivator to get kids to write. It really can be a good way to engage reluctant writers, especially if they love Legos. And they can choose what type of layout they want. Could also choose the size of things if they need a bigger picture. If I choose a layout of 3 pictures, I can then choose, here's my library, these are scenes, these are vehicles, these are people, these are bubbles, these are action type images, and then these kind of are environmental type images. So I might decide to put in a tree, and I might decide to put in a bulldozer. I might decide to put in a construction worker, and I might even add, write something. I can make it bigger or smaller. my truck bigger or smaller. Make my tree bigger. So you have some ways to play. The next site is a place where you can create books. iteachitech. Students can write stories, add pictures, and they can even publish and purchase a book made of their stories. Now, students can not only create, but they can also read stories produced by other students or other people at the site, and they can also share their stories. So, you start with writing your story. You need to sign in to start. I'm going to just show you an example of a story that somebody else wrote. And this happens to be E is for the Earth. Who is it dedicated to? Table of contents. I went a little fast for you there. You go to each letter of the alphabet is a different topic. And here's the book. A is for acid rain. Pretty cool idea. Another way to motivate some of those reluctant writers. Next site is a writing helper. It's called Lightning Bug. And this will help students write a story from beginning in finding a story idea, helping them develop that idea, and then finishing their story. You click on Find a Story Idea. They can use a plot bank, which gives them some ideas of what a story that they might want to write about. You can go back and look at developing a character. So, and they can develop their idea, and they talk ways to develop the idea, and then they can finish their story. So it's just a good resource to help walk them through the writing practice. Next site's pretty cool. It's word clouds. I'm going to create a Wordle. I'm going to take a portion of John F. Kennedy's inauguration speech and paste the text here. I'm going to go. And here you're going to see the words that he spoke that were of more prominence are going to be bigger. The biggest word being pledge. You can change the layout. You can change going to mostly horizontal. You can change the color to an earthy color. You can also do a different. You can see if I randomize down here, I can have it come up in different ways. And then these can be saved or you can print them. It's a good way to get information so students start to see what's important in what maybe they're reading or what is in their writing. The next site is Write Rhymes. And basically, you're going to type a word in. So if I do fantastic, if I option and click, it gives me all the words that rhyme with fantastic. These can be copied, printed, saved. Just a good way if you're talking about rhyming or getting students, they have a word, maybe in a poem, they want a word to rhyme. This is a good place to look for words that would fit into their poetry or their other writing. Text Compactor is a summary tool. You can copy text from the website or document. You can drag the slider here to the percent of the text that you want to keep in the summary. And then underneath you'll see your summarized text. You can then copy and paste it into a word processing program, a text-to-speech, or a language transition tool. I'm going to stick with the same speech that I had written before, but I'm going to say here I would like only to see about 25% I want to keep. And then it summarizes it, taking out text but leaving the gist of the speech, but with 25% less text. It's cool to play with. See what you come up with. Another editing tool is AutoCrit. This is an editing wizard. So you can paste text into the text box and you can have it analyzed. AutoCrit is an editing wizard. You're going to paste text into the text box and have it analyzed. You need at least 200 words, but no longer than 500 words for it to be analyzed under the free version. You can also do 3 submissions a day. You then would get reports on overused words, sentence length, cliches, or redundancies, and those would be for free. You could see a sample report on repeated words and phrases, phrases summary, pacing, dialogue, initial pronouns, readability, and homonyms. Reports can only be printed with the paid version as well as emailed. Paid subscriptions start at $47 a year, but this might be a good tool for your child to use every so often just to see, am I writing something that is not using too many of the same words? Do I have some variations? And am I using cliches or redundancies? So I'm going to use that same text we've been using and probably cut out some of it. I'm going to ask to analyze it. You can see here, limited to 500 words per submission. And now what it'll do, it'll shorten it and then analyze it. So you can see here where they give us the overused words. Here's our sentence variations in length, cliches and redundancies. Okay. And then these reports under here are samples about repeated words and phrases, phrase summaries, the pacing, dialogue, readability, and so on. Cool tool to use. Now we're going to talk about graphic organizers as they relate to writing. The first one we're going to talk about is Bubble, which is free. Brainstorm made simple. You can sign in, create a free account. This way you can save some work. You can print them or export them. Basically is going to start a bubble here. Just join the two. And then we can go on and continue to map things about my dog and go off and go into different tangents. So it's a great little tool to use to help organize those thoughts in writing. Mind2Mo. Mind2Mo is an online mapping software. It's a free tool to be able to use. As you can see here, it also has an iPad and an Android app. Currently, they are free. Not sure how long they will be. So you'll be able to collaborate with other people, organize your thoughts around a particular subject, and then you can share them. So it's another cool way to get thoughts together in order to produce a writing piece. Here you're just going to find some graphic organizer templates that you can download. You can download, print these out, and a student can use them at their desk instead of using a computer to handwrite, but a way to organize their thoughts. Read, Write, Think. This is a graphic organizer where you'll get to choose whether you want to make a graphic organizer for a character map, a conflict map, a resolution map, or a setting map. And then you can print these out also. This in no way is an exhaustive list, but it's a start for you. It's a start for your child to help them with the writing process, which can be so cumbersome for so many students. Thanks for joining I Teach, iTech.